21-day challengers, congratulations. You are 33.5% done with our challenge so far. And I am so proud of you for staying with it and sticking in there and changing your day to meet your goal. That's awesome. So whenever I have a big goal, I try to break it down and really not look at the mountain. Don't look at the mountain, right? So you're already a third done. It went so fast. So give yourself a big high five and 2 fist pumps in the air for making it so far, so fast. You guys rock, and this is our first audio. We had to do it as a video so it would upload, so learning a lot in this process, and it's super fun. Next time I'll try to make it live so you can see me. But I thought you'd like a little visual aid there with the sunflowers. And mostly I wanted this to be able to, for you to be able to not have to watch it, because you can listen wherever you are. It's harder to sit down and watch something. So that was my intention. Most of all, the purpose for the audio was to give you basically just a break in your day, a way for you to stay connected to the challenge and connected to yourself, so that what you're learning, what you're getting, how you're changing from the physical practices in the studio can have a way to reframe in your mind, to become more clear, to give you insights, whatever works for you, so that you can get the most out of this program. So our intention also today is to give you some meditation and a little bit of motivation, because we've got 2 more weeks and there's a lot more to do. But the biggest thing that you can do right now is just say, what can I do today? And that's the idea of not looking at the mountain, right? Don't look at the big goal as the whole. You've got that already in mind. Now we're breaking it down. So can you get to class today? Can you get to class tomorrow, right? Just think in small steps, and before you know it, you'll get there. And that goes for your life too. What can I do today toward my goal? One thing. Maybe you've got big goals. You're raising a family. You've got a job that's stressful. You've got a marriage. You've got a life. So all these things, just what can you do today? Because the daily practices of meditation, of movement, of growth require small steps. Every small step matters. So right now, if you would think of your purpose for joining the 21 days, why did you sign up? Call that to mind right now. In fact, you should write it down. If you haven't written it down, get a piece of paper right now and write down why you signed up for this challenge. If you're wavering about can you get to class today, and you're wavering and weighing other things, now maybe you have something you just can't change and it conflicts with the classes today. I get that. But if you're wavering and you're like, like that, then call to mind your purpose for signing up and put that first. Put that first, because that will bring you to the studio and you will reach your goal. If you haven't written down your purpose, grab a piece of paper and write it down. If you have, find it. Walk around your house, wherever it is. It's in your purse. I don't know if you've written it down. You wrote it down at the kickoff meeting where I mentioned that we should do that. If you haven't done it, do it. And you'll be farther ahead for bringing to mind your purpose, which will allow you in those moments of wavering about getting to class, they'll get you there. So this podcast will be about 15 to 20 minutes long, and we're going to do a little bit of meditation in it today. So every podcast we do will be a little bit different, but I'll always try to include meditation and motivation for you. And then there'll be sprinkled in some other stuff too. So in a little bit, I'm going to ask you to get into a comfortable position in a seat. So maybe you're listening to this in your car and you want to, wait to do that when you get home or to a space where you can sit quietly. It'll only take 5 minutes or so. So plan on that if you are not able to do it right now. And then you can just come back to it. And if you are able, then we're just going to do one quick exercise, mental exercise, before we get into the meditation itself. So you've got your purpose called to mind. What do you want to get from this 21-day challenge? And maybe for you, it was to reconnect to your body, to get movement and yoga into your daily life in a more consistent way. And consistency is one of the hardest things for people to manage. And it's because we all have that sense of so much going on in our lives, so many things that call and gain our attention. And the research on this is really fascinating. So every day, the world is bombarding your senses with sights and sounds and situations and people and ideas and things and negativity that we don't have the capacity to really manage, arrange, organize, categorize, make sense of, because there's just too much. This is the nature of the world, and it's getting worse, but this was always the way it was. So our senses, hearing, sight, touch, smell, right, taste, our sixth sense, intuition, all these senses get bombarded every day from the physical world. And the way that we manage and make sense of all that stuff is when we sleep. So sleep is very, very important to calm our nervous system, to create clarity in our bodies, and to basically make sense of, organize, rearrange, and clean up all of the input that comes into our bodies through our senses every single day. So we're going to talk about sleep a little bit more on another podcast, but I just want you to think about the quality of your sleep and the difference between sleeping and meditating. The difference between sleeping and meditating. So the first time that you meditate, and this happened to me for sure, in fact, more than just the first time, several times, when I was meditating, I would fall asleep. Okay, so that's okay. It just means that you're tired. You're super tired. And so we're going to be creating this distinction as we go forward in these podcasts between sleep and meditation. All right? So just keep it in that way, that sleep is the space, the time that we need to energetically, physiologically, emotionally, sensorially, right, somatically organize the world and make sense of it. And then we'll talk about dreaming and all of that later. In any case, right now, I'm going to move into a meditation that's similar to one we did in the studio the other day, last Wednesday or two ago. So if you were not there, don't worry. That meditation was called The Station. Okay, The Station. This meditation is going to be called Roadside. The Roadside. So sit comfortably. Take a moment to sit comfortably. Allow your palms, the insides of your hands, to face upward so that you can be in a receptive state. So don't lie down. Sit up. Sit comfortably somewhere that you know you can manage for 5 minutes. This is only going to be 5 minutes or so. And close your eyes, but not all the way. Keep your eyes softly open. So we practiced this the other day in one of the classes I taught, where we tried to balance in tree with our eyes closed or very soft. It's challenging. Right now, I want you to soften your eyes, but don't close them all the way. Focus on something right beyond your nose that's not moving. Soft eyes, focused eyes forward. So you're going to practice in this meditation keeping your eyes basically open, focused and soft. Get yourself arranged. Get comfortable. Get up, sit on a pillow if you need it. And allow yourself to visualize yourself sitting along the highway. So you're sitting and you're watching all the cars go by. And I think of the 390 and the 490 Interloop by the city in Rochester, if you're listening to this and live here, where there's all these exchanges, and so there's many lanes and layers, and there's cars, tons of cars that go by there every day, and you're noticing and watching. You're on the roadside watching the cars go by. There are many cars. There are different colors, shapes, sizes. There's trucks, there's semis, there's police cars, there's all kinds of different cars. So you see yourself sitting on the roadside in a safe place, on a bench on the roadside, maybe in a building looking out, and you're watching these cars traveling ever so quickly to where they're going. And as you watch and notice the movement and the frenetic pace, in fact, of these cars traveling all over, you see that they're going in different directions. They're going at a different pace. Cars are moving in their own way, in their own time. And as you sit and you notice this energy, this movement, you start to label those cars as thoughts, feelings, sensations, memories, situations, scenarios, the past, the future, worry, anxiety, even joy, happiness, good times, things you look forward to, things you regret. Every car has a label. And you notice all the variety and the differences in these labels and these different cars going very quickly here and there. But your attention, your big attention, your breath, and your mind's eye, the seat of your real and direct and laser-like attention is on yourself watching. Yourself watching is the power of creating space and not identifying. That's what's meant by not identifying with your thoughts. So you are not jumping in the car of your child's misplaced homework. You are not jumping in the van of tomorrow's work deadline. Right now you're noticing that. You're noticing that car labeled with that feeling, that worry, that anxiety, that thought. And you're seeing yourself seeing, feeling, and noticing that sensation. Right? So it's all sensation, and our job, our health, is created by us as we allow the energy of these experiences